1963 BC, 1932 AM. Planet Phoenix entered the inner solar system, completing its 138-year orbit on its way back out to the Kuiper belt. 1947 BC, 1948 AM. This year is a most amazing calendrical nexus between the Annus Mundi and the modern Gregorian calendars. Abraham was born in this year according to the 1,000-year-old commentary on the Talmud by Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, and Flavius Josephus, who wrote that Abraham was born on the 292nd year after the flood. This 1947 BC date is confirmed by the biblical chronologist Stephen Jones in his Secrets of Time, and in 1839 A.M.M. Noah wrote that an accurate accounting of Abraham's life reveals that he was born in the year 1948 AM in his preface to the English translation of the Book of Jasher. Abraham was born in the only year that overlapped between 1948 Annus Mundi and 1948-47 BC. In a unique parallel, the nation of Israel was reborn in 1948 Anno Domini. Abraham was born Abram, the son of Terah, a Babylonian general. After 20 years of strife and fighting with the Japhethites, the Hamites, led by a 40-year-old Nimrod, attack the Japhethites as these people are weakened by a sudden earthquake. The Japhethites are overthrown in battle. This story is very old and recorded in the book of Jasher. However, we have confirmation of this story in the ancient Greek account of Hesiod, in his Theogony, when an earthquake, howling winds, and a heat wave afflicted the Titans, Japhethites, when they were banished by Zeus. Zeus's career to the Greeks mirrors the Semitic stories of Nimrod. Ham is dethroned after ruling for 65 years, according to the chronologies available to Augustine over 16 centuries ago. He recorded this in his City of God. Nimrod is chosen as king, and he castrates his grandfather Ham as a judicial act for violating Namah in 2235 BC, exactly 288 years priorly, 144 plus 144. Then Nimrod commits an act incurring the anger of God when he castrates the holy patriarch Noah, which was not a judicial act but done out of fear. Noah's sons were gigantic, the Anakim, who were banished to the west. This banishment to the west is a major theme of the early Greek traditions of the sons of Deucalion, the Greek Noah called the new wine sailor. The Anakim travel to the far west and build for themselves the mighty Mycenae, erecting the famous Lion's Gate fortress. Nimrod feared that the ever-virile Noah would keep impregnating concubines and fathering these immense people. Other races of giants were the Rephaim, the Emims, Zuzims, and Zamzumins. All of these races are mentioned in the Old Testament records. Some Anakim settle in Canaan. Nimrod then marries his own mother, the tall and beautiful Semiramis, the daughter of Noah and Namah. This was not an incestual move, but a political one. In the ancient Near East, imperial power descended through the female line. Many times a king ruled as the son of the Great Mother. The people relocate 2 days' walk to the east and begin laying the foundation of great cities along the Euphrates. This is the first regnal year of Nimrod as Amar Uda Ak. This is 868 years after completion of the Great Pyramid, or two judged time periods of 434 years each. 1. Rashi, Talmud Sanhedrin. Leviticus Rabbi. 2. Antiquities. 3. Book of Jasher, Alcuin VII. 4. Jasher. 5. Theogony. 6. Children of the Sun. 1937 BC, 1958 AM. Abram is 10 years old when he is taken out of hiding and taken to live in the house of Noah. At his birth, the court astrologers saw a strange star vision and determined that a child had been born whose seed would overthrow King Nimrod. The child was found to be that of General Terah, who took the child of a maidservant to Nimrod, who killed the child. Abram was secreted away from Shinar. Abram begins a 30-year study under the ancient Noah, who was 902 years old. learning the pre-flood histories, sciences, the mysteries and the elder faith, as well as the prophecies of Adam, Seth and Enoch. Noah taught Abram the secrets of Akhuzan, Giza pyramid complex in Egypt, and the ancient patriarch taught Abram how to translate the pre-flood script. The Great Pyramid at that time was underwater in the southern Mediterranean, where the Egyptian delta lies today. By earthquake in 1899 BC, the entire region would be elevated, the delta created and the pyramid found half buried. This was the 400th year from the birth of Shem, patriarch of the Semitic people. 1 Jasher. 1919 BC, 1976 AM. By this date the reign of Nimrod as king of Shinar and over humanity was secure, but mankind was becoming very populous. Starting with 4 females 1 year after the flood, with each of them having 2 daughters, in a 20-year period, the rate of reproduction is astonishing. And we have a table here running from 8 through 16, 32, 64, 128, doubling all the way to 262,144 people. Under the old patriarchal cultures, men had wives and concubines. The Great Flood was a fact in the post-apocalyptic period, and the duty of all people was to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. The Noahic command recorded in Genesis. After 320 years, there were at the base minimum 262,144 females, the whole population being at least 520,000 humans, all descended from 8 people who survived the deluge. Even this most conservative estimate, at 20-year-long intervals, still has the base population figure 20 years after this date at 524,288 females, or over 1 million people. It must be remembered that at this time humans lived for 4 and 3 centuries easily, human longevity declining rapidly. By this date, very few people have died of old age. The true population at this time would be about 1.5 million. Groups of people, clans and families by this time have begun branching out to populate Syria, Aram, Canaan, Lebanon, Anatolia, Asia Minor, Phoenicia, Mycenae, Sumer, Elam, Harappan Valley cultures, Susa, Crete, northern India, Haran. Nimrod is known to the entire world. The seat of empire at Shinar, Sumer, and his exploits are immortalized in global mythological tradition. The king is the hunter, a renowned warrior and wrestler, a lawgiver and king. A dispute with Noah's sons, the Anakim, 10 years earlier, now has Nimrod boasting that he defeated the Anunnaki themselves. Historic records from the Near East reveal that Sargon I, Nimrod, claimed to have vanquished the 7 kings renowned from pre-flood antiquity. Later, Nimrod would assume the title Hammurabi, and he would claim to have defeated the 7 sages. These are dynastic claims made to secure his rule over the people. For these claims, many groups splintered away, knowing him to be dishonest and an enemy of God. In the early Americas, Nimrod was remembered as the giant Glooskap, called the liar. The belief the people had in Nimrod led to a further abomination. Many people now venerated Nimrod's mother and wife, the beautiful and tall Semiramis, daughter of Noah and Nama, as a goddess. Her brothers were the Anakim, called Titans in Old Greek lore. It was here that we have the origin of the goddess war god motif, the mother and son that found its way into the early iconography of almost every nation on this planet. In this year, Abram is 28 years old. Noah is 920 years old.